story begins in a town that looks completely calm on the surface. A small place called Derry, where one day in October 1988, it rained so heavily that the streets turned into rivers. That day, Bill made a paper boat for his little brother, Georgie. Georgie took the boat outside to play, but it got carried away by the current and fell into a storm drain. When Georgie leaned down to grab it, he saw a clown inside the drain, one that called him by name. After talking for a moment, Georgie believed the clown would give his boat back. But in the very next second, the clown bit off his entire arm and dragged him into the drain. Georgie disappeared. After months of searching, the adults slowly accepted that he was dead. But Bill was convinced his brother was still alive. He gathered evidence, drew maps, and built models. He believed Georgie had been carried through the drains to the river outside the town. But no one believed him. So during summer vacation, Bill decided to go to that river with his friends. Bill's group of friends was different. One had asthma, constantly loaded with medications by his mother. Another had curly hair and was always buried in books because of his father. The third was known for his crude jokes, and Bill himself had a stutter. These four were constantly bullied at school, which is why they called themselves the Losers Club. But they weren't alone for long. Three more kids were about to join them. First was Mike, who lived with his grandfather at a slaughterhouse, but didn't have the courage to kill animals, something he got bullied for. Then there was Beverly, surrounded by rumors at school. Once, a group of girls even dumped a bag of filth over her in the bathroom. And lastly, Ben, a new transfer student. Because of his weight, he had no friends and spent his time alone in the library. Not a single person even signed his yearbook except Beverly, who wrote her name in it. That moment made Ben's heart race. But before they could all truly come together, strange things started happening in Derry. A girl suddenly went missing at school. One day, when Mike went to deliver meat from the slaughterhouse, he noticed the back door of the shop, usually always open, was shut. When he peeked inside, he saw a clown-like figure with glowing yellow eyes staring directly at him. Just then, the school bully Henry and his gang drove by and tried to hit Mike with their car to scare him. Mike fell to the ground, terrified. But when he looked back at the shop, everything seemed completely normal. Then something happened to Stanley. In his father's study, there was a disturbing painting that always made him uneasy. That day, the painting suddenly fell to the ground. When Stanley hung it back up and turned around, the woman in the painting came to life and lunged at him. Just like Mike, Stanley survived, but he was completely shaken. Meanwhile, Ben was hiding in the library, writing a love poem for Beverly. He pulled out a postcard with a picture of a water tower on it and began writing the poem there. After that, he started reading about the history of Derry. The book mentioned that in 1908, during National Day, a massive explosion killed 88 children. The pages kept flipping back to that same section, and the pictures on them slowly started getting bigger. When Ben looked closely, he noticed a child's head inside the image. Panicking, he slammed the book shut. Just then, he heard a child's voice behind him. When he turned around, he saw a red balloon floating out of the reading room. Ben followed it. On the floor, spaced out like a trail, were Easter eggs from National Day, leading down toward the basement. As he followed them downstairs, he began to hear heavy footsteps behind him, and what was following him was a hunched, twisted-headed clown. Just as the library staff entered the basement, the clown suddenly vanished. Terrified, Ben rushed out of the reading room, only to be caught by Henry and his gang. Henry dragged him to the edge of a bridge and started carving his name into Ben's stomach. But after just one letter, Ben saw his chance. He kicked Henry hard and jumped over the railing, escaping. At the same time, Bill and his friends reached the riverbank, where they hoped to find Georgie. Deep down, the others had already accepted that Georgie was gone, but none of them had the heart to say it to Bill, so they followed him all the way to the mouth of the drain. They didn't find Georgie, but they did find the shoe of the missing girl. Just then, Ben stumbled down to the river, and at the same moment, one of Henry's gang members arrived at the drain. He was alone, but bigger than the others, so he fearlessly crawled inside. But inside, it wasn't Ben or the Losers Club waiting for him, it was the clown. Bill and his friends helped Ben onto a bike and brought him back into town. They needed medicine to treat his wounds, but they didn't even have enough money. Luckily, Beverly happened to be at the pharmacy. She distracted the shopkeeper just enough for Bill's friends to quietly grab what they needed. That one moment brought the six of them closer together. Though there was one complication, both Bill and Ben had fallen for Beverly. Later that evening, everyone went back home. Beverly, however, dreaded going back. Her father treated her in ways no father ever should. That's why she had cut her hair, hoping he might lose interest in her. A few days later, they all met again and went out together. While resting, Ben shared what he had discovered. In Derry, the rate of children dying or going missing was 6 times higher than in any other town. There had to be something deeply wrong behind it all. By now, Mike, Stanley, and Ben had already shared their experiences. And now, it was the others' turn. On his way home, Eddie passed by a burned-down, abandoned house. That day, he got distracted staring at it, and the medicines in his hand fell to the ground. As he bent down to pick them up, a deformed, leper-like figure suddenly appeared in front of him and lunged at him without a word. Eddie ran. As he moved forward, the clown appeared again from behind a cluster of red balloons, but Eddie was fast. Somehow, he managed to escape. Meanwhile, Beverly reached home and found Ben's postcard in her bag. She assumed it was from Bill, and a small smile appeared on her face. Just then, someone called her name from the sink pipe. When she looked closer, it seemed unnaturally deep, like it had no end. Suddenly, strands of blood-soaked hair began crawling out of it. The hair wrapped around her, and then a burst of blood exploded out of the pipe. Screaming, Beverly called her father. He came in, but couldn't see a single drop of blood. Bill wasn't spared either. In the middle of the night, he woke up and saw Georgie running into the basement. Bill followed him. Georgie was really there, but something about him felt wrong. The clown attacked, but missed again. Once more, it failed to take any of the 7 kids. The next day, Beverly invited everyone to her house. Strangely, all of them could see the blood in her bathroom, the same blood her father couldn't. Together, they cleaned it up. During this, Beverly read the first line of the poem from the postcard, but Bill showed no reaction. He had no idea about it. After leaving the house, they all realized something. They had each seen the clown, and every time, it took the shape of their worst fears. Everyone, except Stanley, who hadn't experienced anything yet. Then, on the way, they found Mike's bike lying abandoned. Something was clearly wrong. When they reached ahead, they saw Henry and his gang beating Mike on the ground, while the clown watched silently from the bushes. Bill and the others fought back, throwing rocks and driving the bullies away. Looking at Mike, they understood he was just like them. He had seen it too, so they welcomed him into the Losers Club. Now, the group of 7 was complete. Back in town, they came across another missing child notice. That's when Ben revealed something even more disturbing. Every 27 years in Derry, there was a full year where children started disappearing and dying, and it had been exactly 27 years since the last time. Mike added that he had seen fire behind the shop, and hands reaching out from it. When he was younger, his parents had died in a house fire, which is why that vision terrified him so deeply. That's when everything clicked. Whatever was haunting them was taking the shape of their own fears, like something out of a cursed storybook that becomes whatever scares you the most. When they asked Stanley what he feared, he simply said, "The clown." After that, they gathered in Mike's garage. Bill connected all the clues and came to a conclusion. Every major incident of missing children in the town had happened near the sewers, and all the sewers led to one place, an old, abandoned house. The same house Eddie passed every day. It was clear now everything was connected to that place. As they were discussing this, Mike's slide projector suddenly turned on by itself. Panic hit instantly. Mike rushed forward and knocked it over, but in that exact moment, the clown stepped out of the projection and appeared right in front of them. Everyone froze in fear. Then Ben reacted quickly and opened the garage door. The moment sunlight poured in, the clown vanished. Seeing all this, Bill's fear for Georgie grew even stronger. He took the entire group to the clown's lair. As soon as they entered, they saw the missing girl, but the clown used illusions to separate them from each other. Once alone, Eddie came face to face with the same leper creature again. Terrified, he fell down the stairs and lost consciousness. Richie accidentally wandered into a room so horrifying that he couldn't even speak. Somehow, Bill managed to save both of them. Then, behind a less frightening door, they found what looked like a half-decayed body. When they finally got out, they realized Eddie's arm was broken. Just then, Beverly showed up, grabbed the clown by the head, and forced it to retreat. Everyone escaped the house. Bill understood now they would have to come back prepared next time. But the group was starting to fall apart. Eddie's arm was broken, and his mother locked him inside the house. The others were shaken and began backing away. Only Beverly stayed by Bill's side. Meanwhile, Henry was getting worse day by day. After repeatedly failing against the Losers Club, his anger kept building. One day, his police officer father brutally beat him in front of his friends, revealing where all that rage came from. Later, Henry found a red balloon, and beneath it, a knife inside a mailbox. He took it home, sat near his father, and as strange visions on the TV seemed to push him, he finally snapped and stabbed him. This too was the clown's doing. Back with the Losers Club, things weren't getting any easier. Someone had written loser on Eddie's cast. Beverly's father attacked her again, but this time, she fought back and knocked him unconscious before running away. When Bill went looking for her, he found her father lying outside in the snow, but Beverly was gone. On the ground, written near her skateboard, was a message, "Come save her, and you'll die." It was the clown's trap. Bill immediately called everyone. Seeing their only girlfriend in danger, they all showed up, even Eddie, despite his broken arm. That same day, he had realized that all the medicines his mother gave him were fake. He only had asthma, nothing more. She had just been trying to control him, but his friends truly cared about him. Eddie changed the word loser on his cast to lover and joined them. Mike even brought along a bolt gun from the slaughterhouse. The 6 of them entered the clown's lair again. They found the well where it hid. Mike stayed back on guard while the others climbed down one by one. Just then, Henry suddenly appeared and attacked Mike from behind, but Mike fought back, sending Henry falling straight into the well. Down below, the clown separated Stanley and made him face the same terrifying woman again. But this time, the others arrived just in time and saved him. Then they found Beverly. She was unconscious, floating in the air. The clown had taken the form of a massive mouth and forced 3 glowing orbs into her mouth, leaving her in a trance. The boys pulled her down, but she didn't wake up. When they looked up, they saw bodies floating all around them, the missing children. Ben noticed Beverly still wasn't moving. He stepped forward and kissed her, and suddenly, her eyes opened. But the moment Beverly woke up, Bill was pulled away by something. "Georgie, I love you," Georgie said, but Bill had already already noticed something was off. Earlier, Georgie had repeated something wrong, something Bill himself had taught him. That's when Bill realized this wasn't really his brother. The clown revealed its true form. After a long and brutal struggle, it finally caught Bill and made an offer to the others. If they let it kill Bill, it would let the rest of them go. But the clown had underestimated their friendship. Stanley picked up the metal rod and struck the clown, the very thing he feared the most. Then the clown began transforming, one by one, into each child's worst nightmare: the leper, a skeleton, Beverly's father, and many other terrifying forms. But this time, they stood their ground. They faced their fears and attacked together. That's when the truth was revealed. The clown could only harm those who were afraid of it. If you didn't fear it, it had no power over you. That's why it couldn't kill Beverly, because she wasn't afraid. The clown made one last desperate move and slammed its fist against the wall, but its own head began to crack. It started breaking apart piece by piece and disappeared into the darkness. The bodies of the missing children, floating in the air, slowly fell back down. September arrived, and it was time for them to go their separate ways. The members of the Losers Club were leaving Derry. Before leaving, Beverly revealed that while she was unconscious, she had seen a glimpse of the future. The clown would return in 27 years. So Bill made them all promise, if it ever came back, they would return to Derry and finish it once and for all. They all cut their palms and joined hands, sealing it with a blood oath, and one by one, they left the town behind.